Today on Community Cooking, we have guest chef Jeff Lavia in the kitchen with us, and on the menu, we're making two kinds of sandwiches, an Italian pulled pork and a lemongrass meatball sandwich with pickled veggies. We're having fun with fusion today. You won't want to miss it. We're cooking with some of the best chefs from right here in our own community, so grab a seat and get comfortable. We have another great meal coming at you. This is your Community Cooking. Hi, and welcome to Community Cooking. I'm your host, Maria Prekeges, and I'm so excited to have Jeff Lavia back with us. I love it when you're here, my friend.
I love being here. Great to see you, Maria.
Well, and you always have so much stuff. The crew loves you because we always have lots of leftovers, number one. But you always come up with these amazing recipes that, you know, with just a little extra love, go a long way.
It's true. You know, I love Italian food. I'm an Italian. I love Italian food, but I like to mix it up a little bit. So that's how we kind of came up with these sandwiches. The Italian pulled pork is a combination of like a southern pulled pork and then porchetta. So I kind of combine those two to make an Italian pulled pork. And then I love a meatball sandwich.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love that?
But sometimes you get tired of the marinara and the typical meatball with the mozzarella. You want something lighter. So I came up with the lemongrass pork meatball sandwich that has the pickled veggies. And everyone loves to make pickled veggies these days. It's everywhere.
I love anything pickled. So, and you do have, we're going to start with the ingredients for the pulled pork. Can we just say we have some pork?
We do. This is a big old pork shoulder right here. It's boneless. You can also get bone in. Whatever looks great, whatever is on sale. That's how you like to approach it. And this is great because you can feed a ton of people off this. You can make it a head. You can feed 12 people off that, make sandwiches.
See, that's awesome. All right, other ingredients for this sandwich, go through them with me.
Well, we're going to use, first what we do is we make a paste. So that's where our herbs come in. We're going to do some fresh rosemary, some fresh sage, some fennel seeds, some olive oil, crushed red chili pepper. Mix that all up and you make almost a pesto out of it. It's just not your typical pesto. You rub it all over the pork and then you just let it sit overnight. The longer it can sit, the better, because the pork just absorbs all those good flavors.
Ooh, yum. I love it.
And then we make a Lemon-Caper Mayo to go with it, to go on the bun. And then we just put some nice fresh arugula on there just to give it that peppery, fresh kind of bite to it.
So excited. Okay, so let's start then with the paste for the pork.
The paste for the pork. So we have our sage and our rosemary right there. And it's just nice and fresh, always fragrant.
That is super. Oh,
so
it smells so good.
What's nice about this preparation also is that you don't really have to worry about chopping it because it's going to go in the food processor.
Oh, perfect. I love it.
So we're just going to put some fresh sage in here.
Yeah, anything with a food processor, yay, two thumbs up.
Always. And you want about a cup.
Okay.
Give or take. You know, sometimes people like things more fragrant. Sometimes people, you know, prefer not to have all the herbs.
I know, before you get your knife in there. Oh, my favorite.
And, you know, taking rosemary off is so easy. You just grab one end like this and then just strip it down.
I never get that. I'm probably pulling it all the wrong way.
And then sometimes, you know, when it has a bunch of there on there, and it, you know, it might go all over the place and make a mess, but it's okay.
Yeah, an artist studio is not going to be perfectly clean.
No, it's not.
So then a little olive oil.
So we're going to add some olive oil.
I love it. Food processor. Anytime.
You can't beat it. And then we're going to add some fennel seed here. This just gives it a nice flavor.
You don't hear about the fennel seed very often, but I like it. I was smelling all the herbs right before the show, and my mom used to use a lot of fennel seed.
I love it. Yeah. Whenever I make, I cook a lot with pork, actually. You know, for catering, it's great because it has great flavor. It doesn't dry out. Pork has about the same calories as a chicken breast, not much more. So we just added some crushed red pepper to that.
We love that.
And then we're going to add some garlic.
Look, I'll clean up your, see, I told you I clean.
and I make a mess.
And that's the best way to get the skin off the garlic, is just smash it with your big knife.
If you had a bad day, it's a great way to
get out all your anger and aggravation.
And it's just garlic. You're not going to hurt it.
Yeah, that is so true. All right, so our big cloves of garlic.
So we have the garlic in there, the rosemary, the sage,
Okay.
the fennel seed, the crushed red pepper, and the olive oil. So we're just going to make a quick paste out of that.
Woohoo!
And if it seems like you need a little more olive oil, just go ahead and add it.
Okay, because yeah, you want it to stick on. You don't want it to all flake off.
And you know, when you're cooking with a lot of fresh ingredients, taste as you go. You know, the rosemary that you got this week might not be as flavorful as the rosemary that you get another week. So always just taste it.
I love it.
You might need a little more salt. You might need a little more pepper.
Oh, that's getting beauteous.
Tiny bit more olive oil.
Oh my gosh, those fresh herbs smell so good.
And you cook this for about, you know, good 6-7 hours, depending on your oven. So your whole house will smell like this. Your
That's not
neighbors
too bad.
will smell it. Everyone on the block will smell it. All right.
You have lots of friends when you make this dish. Yeah, and obviously Jeff's showing us how to prep it, but God bless him, he already did one. That's all ready for us.
So here's our giant pork shoulder.
Okay.
We're going to season it very liberally with some salt and pepper.
And of course, Jeff always has the cutest little, the best. I know, I'm like, what's in here? I couldn't even open it.
You know, you eat with your eyes first, and it starts with your prep.
It does. It really does. And your prep is always so beautiful and colorful.
So just season both sides. We'll just season one side for now.
Okay. And kosher salt, sea salt.
I like kosher salt.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of kosher salt. I only like sea salt when I'm doing it as a finishing touch,
Okay, good to know.
because it just never dissolves quick enough for me, and that was one of the very first mistakes when I made cooking. The sea salt didn't dissolve, so I thought I needed more salt.
Oh gosh, and then it was really salty.
Yeah. So we're just going to take this. I use my hands.
You can use your hands.
It's
I saw you wash them before the show. We're good.
So you just put this on here like this.
Oh gosh. And would you turn it and put it on both sides or just the
Oh,
one?
yeah.
Okay, so
I mean, you're gonna-
slather it all over.
Yeah.
Look at that.
On the inside, you know, go into all the little crevices, and
Oh my gosh, that smells so good.
it does. And it sits and it just soaks up all these flavors and all these herbs, and it just gets such a good flavor.
So, and usually, like you said, would you put this, cover it, and put it in the refrigerator overnight to
I would.
really infuse all the flavors?
Wrap it up really tight in plastic wrap.
Okay.
And then set it in something in case it leaks, and set it on your bottom shelf.
Okay.
So that if you have something like vegetables, you don't want something underneath it where the raw pork juices can get on there.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense.
So we have this all ready to
All
go.
right, so that would usually go in the refrigerator overnight and then cook it slowly.
Throw it. You can take the plastic wrap off of it when you're ready to cook.
Okay.
Cover that whole thing with foil and put it in a 325-degree oven. Forget about it for 6-7 hours.
Forget about it. But luckily, we have one in the oven. So good. I'm putting this right here.
Okay.
Hot stuff, and I don't mean you, I mean the pot. Just
Dang
saying.
it! I thought that was my first compliment of the day.
Well, I'm here for you.
Okay, this is a little warm, but I have iron
I
fingers
stole,
these days.
I stole the pot here. There you go.
My fingers don't feel anything these
Look
days.
at that. So that,
So one other thing when you're doing a pork like this, when I put it in there, I'm not setting it on a rack, because what I like it to do is, as it cooks, the fat's going to come out of it, and it's going to kind of cook in its own fat, a lot like a carnitas or
Okay.
even a confit.
okay.
You know, when it cooks in its own fat like that, and it just gets all that flavor.
Smells so good. Okay, so
So
then,
you can tell when it's done because it easily just pulls apart.
look at that.
I mean, it's fork tender.
It's taking all my will to not taste it, but I'm going to wait till it's the finished product's all ready.
And then
Look at that.
I like to leave the fat actually in there, because when you mix it in with the pork, it keeps the pork nice and fresh. So especially if, you know, you're having a game or something like that, and this
Yep.
is going to be sitting out for a while for people to help make their own sandwiches, that fat goes a long way in keeping everything moist
I was going to say moist so it doesn't dry
and
out.
flavorful. I mean,
Okay.
there's flavor and fat. Now, what I like to do also is just finish this with a little bit of salt and pepper.
Okay.
Because you're really only seasoning the outside of the pork, so once you break it open, you want to season the inside.
And then all that great paste that we put on when you mix it up gets in there as well.
Exactly.
Oh, yum. You would not believe the smell that's coming from this. It's
And
so
leftovers
good.
of this, I mean, you can make tacos.
So then we have our pork all done.
So now what we need
I'm moving it towards me. Just so you know.
I know how much is in there.
I know. Well, what the heck? Okay.
So a sandwich wouldn't be a sandwich without a dressing on the bread.
Yes.
So to complement all the flavors in there, I thought it would be great to make a lemon-caper mayo.
Why wouldn't we? I know, because we have mayo.
We have a little bit of mayo here.
I can grab you a lemon. And caper. I love capers. You know me well. I love them on so much.
Now, in the interest of not doing a lot of dishes, I would make my mayo right after I make the paste. So you still have a little bit of that herb in there, and it kind of helps marry
that's perfect.
the mayo to the pork.
And less dishes for Miss Maria.
That's the second advantage. So we're just going to add some mayonnaise to the herb mix.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense because you're going to just have a little more of that flavor.
And you can make a bunch of but since we're just making 2 sandwiches, I thought we would just go ahead and...
The crew just sneered at you when you just said 2.
Well, the pork's delicious without the sandwich too.
It is.
And
With lots here.
If you have people who are gluten-free, you just serve it without the bun, or you put out some lettuce. It's also great like that.
Okay,
so
some capers.
Strained capers.
Oh yeah, you don't want the
the
juice.
And we're going to add a little bit of the lemon juice.
Yum. Lemon, mayo, and capers. I'm sold.
And as a final touch, just to add some freshness, let's add a little bit of the parsley.
That'd be that side.
I'll just tear it off right here. It's all nice and clean. Got it at the farmer's market, so it's super fresh.
We love our farmer's market down here.
No,
all right, and again, I love the little mini food
it's
processor.
Yeah. Sometimes you pull out one of those big things and it, takes 10 minutes to clean.
Again, less dishes.
Exactly. And you just mix this up. We're going to add a little tiny bit of salt and pepper to it.
Okay.
And this can sit in your fridge for
a while.
If you ever have, any type of leftover Italian lunch meat like prosciutto or anything like that, this is great on an Italian
that would be
sub.
really good. Okay, a little more.
Okay, so we got that going.
We have our pork, we have that, we have our arugula, we have our buns.
We have some beautiful
Get to it.
brioche buns here.
Aren't I nice? My stomach's growling. Would you please be so kind? Here, I'll get everything out of your way though.
I'm just gonna slice these down the middle here.
Oh.
Now just for a little bit of extra flavor and a little bit of extra zing, we are gonna put a little bit of mayonnaise on these.
Why wouldn't we?
And these get toasted up in a skillet, just for a quick second, just to...
So not just with the butter, just a little mayo on it.
Mm-hmm.
Even
really, you're not
better.
You don't have to do that too long, just enough.
Well, everyone likes a little crunch and a little...
Exactly.
And I never even think of putting mayo on instead of butter.
I'm just going to kind of
sizzle,
sizzle. Here. And these are yummy brioche.
Well, those are good. And then the other bread you have, that's for the meatball.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, look at that.
So we've got
beautiful.
Here. These are ready to go.
All right, I'm ready to start.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so we are going to take a little bit of our caper mayo. Actually, I like a lot, so.
Yeah, you can go generous with mine as well.
And this is the flavor. It's all in this here. Let's see, here's our other
I know which ones. I could take 2 tops, 2 buns of the bottom. We don't care. I got your arugula ready for you.
I could have picked a better knife.
I was going to say it's a multi-purpose knife today.
And here we go. One last little bit here.
Okay.
And again, the longer this mayonnaise sits, the better. Because
the better.
All the flavors.
Do we do arugula next and then?
No, what we will do is start with our pork.
Okay. Oh, yeah. He can be generous with that too. We're good.
Yeah. And then all that juice goes into the buns too. And
oh yeah, and that's why I think toasting's good too, because then the bun doesn't get soggy. Are you kidding me?
So this is, like I said, I love a barbecue pulled pork sandwich.
Yep.
But sometimes you just want something a little different.
A little different.
So that's where this came in.
He's being generous with that pork. We like that.
And I love porchetta.
Love it. And it's so pretty.
It is. And it's just got a nice flavor to it.
Can I say, ta-da?
Look at that.
That's gorgeous. Okay. We're going to do a little cleanup and go on to our next sandwich, the meatball with pickled veggies, a la Jeff's way. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're watching Community Cooking. Welcome back to Community Cooking. If you're just joining us, my dear friend and chef extraordinaire Jeff Lavia is with us. I love having you here. We did a pulled pork sandwich with tons of little twists in the first segment. Now we're doing a pork lemongrass meatball sandwich. Do explain.
Again, another twist. You know, a little bit different from the typical meatball sandwich with the marinara, the mozzarella we talked about before. This is more of an Asian style sandwich. A lot lighter, a lot fresher, really good flavor.
Okay, and this is what lemongrass looks like.
This is what lemongrass looks like.
I'm not going to chew it in myself. All right, I'm going to give you a, do you call it a stalk? I don't even know.
It's exactly what it is. It's grows up like this. It is grass. It is a grass.
So, and you use just the bottom part.
Usually about the bottom 5 inches.
Okay.
5-6 inches.
And you chop it up, and you brought some in. It goes from looking like that to this just by sitting?
Yeah, and well, you mince it up, and it ends up like that.
So easy. I love it. So you mince up
and
the
I'll leave
lemongrass.
that in my fridge. You know, lemongrass adds so much to
Oh, it smells really good.
It's almost like nutmeg.
Yeah, it seems like you've added so many things and you haven't. This is what it is.
Exactly.
From here to here. We love it. All right, and then let's go over the ingredients for the meatballs.
So we have ground pork. You could also do ground beef, ground chicken, ground turkey, whatever you like. We have some shallots, garlic, crushed red chili pepper, a garlic chili paste.
That's my favorite.
A little pinch of sugar.
Okay, and then the pickled, we're going to pickle some pickles. The pickled vegetables, carrots in all different colors. A lot of people don't know that they come like this.
They do. They're rainbow carrots, and I love them.
I love it. And then daikon.
Daikon.
Which I find a lot in a lot of my Japanese sushi.
Mm-hmm. And it's a radish, and we also have some red onion. We have some chili peppers up there as well.
All right, let's get cooking on the meatballs.
Okay.
I have a bowl for you.
Really easy here. We're just going to take our pork.
Yeah, no egg, no bread.
No egg, no bread.
That's crazy. I like it. Easy.
And mix it up with the fork really quick.
Okay.
We're not going to season the meat heavily. You do want to season it just a little bit, just so that flavor gets in there.
Okay.
A tiny bit of salt, because we're going to be putting soy sauce and fish sauce in here. So you don't need a lot of salt.
Yeah.
So you let that go. You let that sit.
Okay.
And then in a separate bowl, we make a yummy little sauce. So we're going to take some shallots.
By the way, onions, I love it if they're like in a salsa or mixed up in some sort of marinade. Mm-hmm. Or they have to be cooked. But shallots, I love.
I love shallots. I almost use shallots more than onions.
Yeah, I do too. And I love them. They're more mild.
They will make you cry just as much.
I know. That's the thing. I always say when friends of mine lived in a ski town and they would wear their ski goggles when they prepped. I'd be like, why are there ski goggles in your kitchen?
We used to bite a roll.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've never tried it.
It works.
So we're just mincing up our shallots.
You just want to get a nice, good mince on here.
Okay.
Really easy. And then we're going to add these to our bowl here.
Okay.
Woo, that is a strong shallot.
That is a strong shallot. I'll move it away.
That is.
Woo!
Oy.
I'll wipe his tears.
We're going to add some fish sauce and some soy sauce.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to add some chili paste. You can add as little or as much as you like. And we're going to add some crushed red chili peppers.
I won't even tell you the weird things I put chili paste on. And a little bit of sugar
and
to
a
cut
little
all
pinch
that.
of sugar.
Okay.
To cut all that.
Whew. Yep. It all goes in the same. All right, we mix that up.
Okay. These shallots are almost out of my way here.
I know. And do we mix
and we're
it in
going
the
to add
pork?
a little bit of cilantro as well.
Okay. Cilantro, sir.
Okay. And this just gives it a nice freshness to go with the lemongrass.
Okay.
And again, that lemongrass is just, it's that thing in cooking that just gives it that flavor.
It's a really cool smell. All right, some lemongrass. Perfect.
Okay, we're going to mix this
So
up
you
here.
mix
A good amount of
that
lemongrass
first.
here.
Yeah. Well, it does say lemongrass meatballs, so I want lemongrass.
And we just toss this in.
Okay.
Those are some really strong shallots. I gotta be honest.
I love it. Well, we always talk about you never know what you're going to get.
Does anyone have a roll?
Yeah. Here, we have lots of bread. Okay.
And I like to cut this in with a fork.
You do, and not your hands?
People use their hands. It can almost be like over mixing a cake dough, and you can make your meatballs tough.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
So you just mix this in good and
Okay.
like that. And then we're going to take some meatballs here. You have a,
I have a pan.
pan lined with parchment paper.
Yes.
And you just form a bunch of meatballs. This will make about 12 decent-sized meatballs.
Okay.
If you want to make these into appetizers, you can make them smaller and have them be cocktail meatballs.
Oh.
If you prefer to have...
These are cocktail-sized meatballs for me.
And you can make them bigger. Some people like big, meatballs. I don't like a huge meatball in my sandwich because then it's...
You want them almost bite-sized or two
Exactly.
bites.
So you make about 12 of those.
Okay, and you brought some already cooked, thank goodness.
Course.
So that's the mix, obviously, for the turkey. Lemongrass meatballs. Let's get into pickling. I just like to say it. Pickling, now that he stopped crying.
So we have all of our yummy veggies right there. You have
carrots.
Some carrots, some cucumber, some daikon. If you don't mind, we can add some onion.
Because you want to cry more.
Exactly. I just
We'll
stopped
see.
crying.
You just stopped crying. So a little red onion.
You don't need a lot, just a little bit here. And the thing with your veggies is try and cut them all the same shape and size. Your onions are a different shape than those, so you won't get quite exactly that.
But they're the same size, which is great. Oh, there are cukes at the bottom.
So you just kind of nicely, just a nice thin slice.
And you did take the
Mix these in there, kind of separate them.
You took the seeds out of the cucumbers when you sliced them.
And peeled them.
Yep.
Peel the carrots, peel the daikon. And if you want to hand me a chili pepper,
Red or
you can
green?
never go wrong with that. Either one. I like the red personally.
Let's do red.
For color.
And don't touch your eyes.
I know.
That's my advice.
Well, they have enough water coming out of them right now. They should be okay.
I know. I'm even starting to tear up. I love it.
Okay.
This is how you have fun with cooking.
You know,
just never know.
You shouldn't take cooking that seriously.
No.
I mean, it's not. It should be fun. It should be an enjoyable process.
Okay.
So now we need to make our pickling liquid. So you're going to have equal parts sugar, rice wine vinegar, and unseasoned rice wine vinegar, and water.
Okay.
Super simple.
I love
We're
rice
also
wine
going to
vinegar.
add a little pinch of salt to it too, and some crushed red chili pepper. Again, that's optional if you don't want it spicy, but I like everything spicy.
Yeah, well, that's why we get along. Besides him being a fabulous chef and friend. But yeah, I like it spicy.
Okay, and we're just going to mix this up. And we got a whisk. And you want to let these vegetables sit for 30 minutes, and you can let them go longer than that if you like. And just mix this up until the sugar dissolves. Sometimes people will heat up their pickling liquid. I don't like that. I think it keeps it fresh.
Yeah.
So the sugar's dissolved, and then you just pour these in.
Okay, you think pickling, you have to put it on a shelf in a jar for like 3 years.
No,
but you
really
don't. So that's it. You give it a little mix, and you let it sit.
And you just let it sit.
Covered in the fridge?
Covered in the fridge.
Okay.
You can put them in a jar. I like to put them in a jar because then that way, when you open your fridge, you see something pretty.
Okay, I'm going to grab the meatballs that are in the oven because they smell so good. Look at those bad boys. Oh, ho, ho. And let's start a sandwich.
Okay. We have one last final component to do,
Okay.
which is I'm going to make it here in the same bowl here. That's okay because, again, it kind of adds a little bit of flavor
Yeah,
to
that's
it.
the flavor.
We're going to make a spicy mayonnaise. Infused mayonnaises
Plural of mayonnaise, sure.
are really popular. People love them. They add just a nice little flavor.
Oh,
We're
and
gonna
more
add
chili
some Thai
paste.
chili paste.
I'm fine with that.
You can also add a little dash of soy sauce to this just to
Okay.
kind of, but you really want to keep this uncomplicated. You want to have this just be a nice straightforward flavor because you're getting so many other flavors here.
I'm laughing because I'm sitting over the hot meatballs and the smell is so good. My eyes are watering for joy. No, oh my gosh.
We have a nice crusty French roll here.
Yep.
It's crusty
down
on
with
the
that.
outside and it's nice and chewy on the inside, which is just my favorite in the entire world when it comes to sandwich.
Yum.
Open it like a book. You want to leave your one end intact.
Okay.
here. And again, we're just going to take some of our mayonnaise here and spread it on. I like a lot of mayonnaise.
Yeah, I do too.
If you wanted to, you could toast your bread.
Okay.
Again, it's just kind of however you prefer. If you have an older roll, I would go ahead and toast it just because it kind of refreshes it a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Look at that. Oh, yeah, baby.
Okay. Now we're going to, I like to cut our meatballs in half.
Oh, lovely.
And I'm going to show you how I assemble the sandwich
I know.
here.
Well, that's part of the beauty of it all.
And I would do about 4 meatballs per sandwich, depending
Okay.
on the size of your roll. You could do 3 meatballs if it's a smaller. You could do more if it's...
Yeah.
That's one that's kind of an approximation here. It just depends on the size of your roll.
Okay.
And we're just going to stack them. I like to do
Oh, look at
2
you.
like this, because then that way you get a bit of
You
meatball
get
in every
I was
bite.
going to say, you get a bit of meatball in every bite.
And it's just enough here. And you have that nice mayonnaise that comes out of the side and makes
Now
it super
these,
juicy.
I'm not kidding. These smell so good.
Okay, and then it's time for our pickled veggies.
Right on top. Oh, what a
Right
great
on
twist.
top. And it's kind of like one of those banh mi sandwiches. My pronunciation might not be great, but with the pickled veggies, that was part of my inspiration for this. And it's just, it's pretty, it's flavorful, it's fresh, it's got a lot of great texture.
Oh, look at that thing.
You know what? I'm just going to go in.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Oh my gosh. Okay. Just putting the finishing touches on this. I'm so excited to
Want to hand me a
taste
little
it.
bit of cilantro?
Sure.
Just on top, there's a little garnish.
It's going to
here.
be a messy one, and I don't care.
Sandwiches should be messy.
They should be messy.
Just for a little bit of freshness.
All right. We're going to clean everything up and taste both of our pork sandwiches when we come back. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Community Cooking.
My favorite thing about music is it's reliable. It's always there.
And it just helps me cheer up other people.
When you play music, you are playing life.
Welcome back to Community Cooking. Our tears are dried up and we're ready to taste. All right, I'm going to taste this one first. And please, there's plenty for both. The pulled pork.
I won't be shy on that.
Oh my gosh. The flavors of the pork with the arugula and the mayo and then the little toasty bun.
It just all goes together so nicely. You get all those herbs balanced out with the refreshing mayo and the arugula.
I mean, you almost taste like your taste bud gets a little bit of each herb at a time.
And that's exactly how you want it.
I'm doing this because it's half on the side. This one's going to be messy. This is the meatball with the pickled veggies.
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into that sandwich. Literally, some tears.
It's so good. Again, the pickled veggies with the meatball.
And that lemongrass in the back, it just adds that little something.
Oh my word, I'm sorry. You're not supposed to talk with your mouth full, but it's so good. And folks, he caters. Thank you so much for joining us. Your recipes were amazing as usual.
Thank you so much.
And on behalf of Jeff, the entire crew, and myself, thanks for watching. And remember, we really do have some of the best chefs right here in our own community. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Community Cooking.
If you'd like a copy of the recipes seen on this show, send us a self-addressed stamped envelope to the Office of Cable and Community Relations. That's 3350 Civic Center Drive, Suite 200, in Torrance, California, 90503. Be sure to note the show number displayed on the screen. And don't forget, you can find all the fresh ingredients used on today's show at the Farmers Market. Visit the one here in Torrance at Wilson Park. That's located at 2200 Crenshaw Boulevard. They're open every Tuesday and Saturday from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m., rain or shine. And if you'd like to be a guest on our show, email us at communitycooking@torranceca.gov and check us out online at youtube.com/TorranceCityCable and like us on Facebook at Community Cooking TV.